Hey everybody, Tom Sparks with Sparks Media Group. Today we're going to scan this home and provide a 3D virtual tour using the iGuide IMS-5 camera system, which is right there. The first step we're going to do is turn on the camera. So we're going to hit the power button up there, and then we're going to turn the camera itself on to manual. While that's turning on, we're going to turn the camera so it locks into one of these clicks, and I'll be kind of quiet so you can see if you can hear it. That click, that knocking sound, is a little divot where the camera is going to stop. There's 3 of those on this particular camera, and for each scan point you do, you need to be locked into those 3. Now that the camera's on, we're going to connect, and you can see that we already are, which is good. We're going to launch the same website, 192.168.5.1. We're going to go to Project. And we're going to name this project. So I'm going to call it Caramel IMS-5. I will measure the exterior wall thickness, but I believe it to be 6 inches, so I'll put that there. Hit create, and then we're going to call this floor main floor. This floor, you come in and you're at a landing, and you're going to go up, and then you're going to go down. So we're going to call this main floor, same 6-inch wall thickness, and we're going to call it above grade. Now again, we're locked in here to that first divot. We will turn the laser on, and then we're going to hit +1 to do a new pano. We're going to walk, actually we don't have to walk around the corner on this. With the IMS-5, we can stand right behind the camera. Hit the shutter button, and it will take a series of images. And then your panel will pop up. There's the first one. We're going to rotate it till we hear another click. Right there. Hit the camera button again. And then lastly, rotate it till we hear that click a third time. Hit the shutter button again. And that's our first scan point. So now we're going to do the bottom of the steps, because we always want to do bottom of the steps to top of steps. Come around the corner, hit a +1 for a new pano, and take the picture. The reason I came around the corner on this is because the camera lens can see anything from the front of the lens outward and around. We're always going to rotate it clockwise to the right. Now, something that's unique to the IMS-5, which you don't really do on the Planix Pro, is we have to align the panos. We can do this whole house and then go home and try to align everything and stitch later on, but it gets extremely difficult, and because we're here on site and we can familiarize ourselves with the house while we're here, it's easier just to align it on site. So the next step is to hit the Move Pano button, and then we're going to use our fingers to drag and drop this scan point where it goes. So it looks like it goes right there. When we have it done, we're going to hit save and then move on. We're going to do the top of the staircase because we always want to do tops and bottom of staircases. So we'll stand right here. come around the corner, hit +1, and take the picture. If you're standing behind the camera, that's okay. You just want to make sure your shadow's not in any shots. We're going to move and align it. There you go. Save. Now, if you turn it and you find yourself in a shot and you don't know it because you're just moving at the speed of light through the house, you can look back at the screen and say, oh no, I was in that middle shot. What do I do? Well, what we can do is rotate the camera back to where it was, come out of the camera view. We're going to click on that middle pano and hit the shutter button, the camera button again. And it's going to say, data for this view already exists. Do you want to overwrite? We hit OK, and it will take a new image. And we're out of the shot, just like that. We're going to align that. Hit save, +1, take a picture. It's extremely important as you're doing this to make sure that the camera is stopped in those divots and to ensure that you don't move the tripod, don't bump into it, don't kick it while you're doing the 3 images. Now, if I stood right here, I'd be in the reflection of this glass door, so I'm going to move out of the way a little bit. And I don't want to stand here and take a chance of being at the camera there, so I'm going to come around the corner and hit the button. Now, if you notice your map starting to get data off the screen, you're not able to move this around. What we're going to do is go to Map Actions, and we're going to recenter map. It says, are you sure you want to recenter the map in Canvas? We're going to hit OK, and now it'll put it back in the center of the screen. Alternatively, if you're doing a house that's rather large and you've recentered it, but your data's still outgrowing the sides of the map, what you can do is go to Map Actions and Grow Canvas. And what that will do is zoom out. But it makes it a little fuzzier when you're trying to zoom in. So I don't do that too often unless I absolutely have to. While I'm scanning, I always keep the HDR on indoor. If you click on this drop down, you're able to do beach, custom, and off. Off is moving extremely fast. It takes one shutter with the camera, one click, one exposure. And that's really good for if you're doing floor plans only. You don't need the HDR quality. For most purposes, HDR indoor is the best. Unless I'm transitioning from inside to outside, we'll do a door closed, for example, with HDR indoor, and then I'll open the door and do a scan, same spot, but I'll do HDR beach, and what that does is it lightens up the inside of the house but exposes nicely for the outside of the house. And then when I'm outside, I'll either leave it on beach or go back to HDR indoor, but that's the only time I really change it from indoor. If you've gotten this far along in the video, you've already seen the Planix Pro scan of this house. And I'm scanning in pretty much the same points. I'm going to make a comparison video, which is what the whole purpose of doing this is. And I wanted to keep everything as consistent as I could. My initial impressions of the Planix Pro was it's a lot quicker than the IMS-5. However, I guess today we'll really be able to tell, because the fact that you don't have to walk away from the IMS-5 the entire time could speed up the process. The Planix Pro, you have to hop around a corner a lot. I am doing it now just because I'm kind of in that habit, being that I've used the Planix Pro a lot, but you don't always have to duck around a corner with the IMS-5. So that can save some time. Now, if you wanted to save a little bit of time when you're doing closets and you're not going to use the closet scan on the tour, you can turn HDR off. It does save a little bit of time, especially if you have a lot of closets or you have a lot of area that you don't want on the tour, that you just know you're not going to have on the tour. We never show these type of closets on a tour, so I would always turn the HDR off. So what we're going to do is go to HDR off, hit +1, and it takes the image, and we're going to move it. And it's a lot quicker, as you can tell. Again, I would only do this if it was something you know for sure is not going to be on a tour. You still have to align it, and then don't forget to go and turn HDR back on when you're done with that closet. So this floor is done. I'm going to add one more scan point over here, just because I didn't get one over here. There you have it. Now we'll do the upper levels. So if you remember, we did do the lower level, bottom of the stairs. I'm sorry, we did the landing, bottom of the stairs. Now we're going to do this floor, we're going to call it upper level 1, and we're going to do right at the top of the stairs, right there. So we'll go to floor and call this upper level 1, 6-inch wall thickness and above grade. Make sure we're locked into a divot. Come around the corner, hit +1. Now, at the very first panel on a new floor is the only time that you won't have to align. We're going to do the bottom of the stairs there. Make sure we're locked in. Hit +1 and start. Now I did the first panel here. I'm purposely going to go not quite into the divot and do another panel. And then I'm going to do a third panel in the divot. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. It'll say compass angles failed, consistency check. If this happens often, consider doing a calibration. If we look at the data and we move this panel around, you can see that there's all kinds of lines and it's not a clean space. The LiDAR scanned it weird. So we're going to hit cancel. We're going to go to pano, and that's on pano 2. So we're going to go back to survey, and we know that this third divot is right because we're in it. We know that we were in the first divot because we started there. We think we were off on that second divot. So we're going to go back to the second divot, go back to the middle image, which is the second image, hit the shutter button, and it asks, do you want to overwrite the data? We hit yes, and then we go back and look at it. Now you can see that it's a nice clean line. So if you ever see some skewed lines and there's no mirrors in the room, that's the cause of it. You weren't properly in one of those divots. Mirrors are a different story. Mirrors can throw all kinds of weird data because the LiDAR hits the mirror and then looks through it and thinks it's still going into Never Never Land. Okay. Now we don't have to do this step right here because you can see from where we were on upper level 1 to where we're going to upper level 2. So I'm going to put the camera at the top of the stairs, locked into a divot. Go to floor and call this upper level 2, 6-inch wall thickness, +1, take the picture. There's a closet right here, so what we're gonna do is open the doors. Make sure that run the divot, move that panel. Here again, the motion sensor lights went off, and you can see it in this shot. So we're going to do that over again. interesting. I was getting an error that it said it failed to redo the, or it said it failed him to redo the shot. All looks well. That's why it's really important to pay attention as you're scanning and not kind of go on autopilot. Because the last thing you want is to miss a shot and have to come back. So we're done with the top floor. Now we're going to go do the garage level. We already did the top of the stairs on the main level floor. So we're going to call this landing. And we're going to do this floor so that the drafters see where we've been and where we're going. So I'm going to call it landing. And then we're going to move right over here and do the same shot. Now this bottom floor, at the bottom of the stairs, we're going to call lower level 1. tight quarters. So we're gonna open the door. And then prop it open with our camera. I think I was in that shot, so I'm going to redo it. And there you have it. We are done with the IMS-5. Took about 50 minutes, I would say, give or take. But we're all done. Comment if you have any questions. I appreciate you guys watching. If you could give me a like, I'd really appreciate it. Share this video and give me a subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.